Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Rez and this is Time Stream Games. And today we're going to go ahead and jump back into my first time playing through Final Fantasy Tactics. So far it's been a really fun game. There's been a lot of challenges for me, especially considering how many things I don't know about the game. I've been trying to educate myself a little bit more, but at the same time, I also kind of want to go into it as blind as possible for the freshest experience, I guess you could say. Last video, we left off with fighting Cardinal Delacroix after he used the stone of the Zodiac to transform into a Lucavi Q-Hulane or something, and he whooped my ass. I eventually got to where I needed to be, but it was rough. Anyways, now we're on to chapter 3. And in between the last chapter and this video, I did a lot of grinding and unlocking some new things for my jobs and some stuff like that. The first thing we're supposed to be doing is we're going to go talk to Zalbag, which is Ramza's brother, to inform him that someone else is pulling the strings in this war that's been happening between the two sides, the two opposing sides, Duke Larg and Duke Koltana. Anyways, on our way there, we come across this guy, Oran Durai. He comes out of, I don't know why he was at this house, I'm not exactly sure, but it was a den of thieves. We come to his aid because we find him in trouble, and we beat the ever-living crap out of them. They introduce themselves, and he takes his leave. And then we make our way to where Zalbag is, in the royal capital. I can't remember what it's called. But Zalbag is being his typical stupid self. And I don't know, it just seems like he talks down to Ramza. But anyways, Ramza's trying to inform him that somebody's pulling the strings, and he happens to think that it's their brother Dystarg. And Zalbag gets very defensive and very upset at Ramza insinuating such a thing, and disowns him as his brother. Which is really fucked up, honestly. The Beowulf family is really, really annoying. Outside of Ramza and his dad and sister, of course. Basically, it's just the two brothers that are really, really annoying. But anyways, in the midst of him expressing his concerns about their brother Dystarg and Zalbag disowning him, a guard comes in and states that the Thunder God, I believe, has broken through some line of defense they had somewhere. And so Zalbag very quickly rushes off to Dugera Pass, or however you pronounce. I am having a really hard time with these names, I really am. But anyways, he leaves. And subsequently, Ramza leaves because his worries fell on deaf ears. So we head out, and Alma finds us. She's very upset that Ramza didn't bother to say hello, and we're greeted by this stupid churchman, Confessor Zalmor. And he accuses Ramza of being a heretic because he killed Cardinal Delacroix. Despite the fact that Cardinal Delacroix was a fucking demon. But we promptly beat the, we attempt to beat the sin out of him, and it doesn't work so well. So he's like, do you know what you've done? The violence you're committing against me is violence against the gods. Yeah, honey, I don't think you're that important. You're really not. But anyways, we beat him, because that was the objective of the battle, and then he spouts some religious bullshit, and then he leaves. Teleports away. And I don't think we see him for the rest of the chapter. But yeah, so After that really rude interruption, Alma states that she thinks that she's seen Orosite. She tries to use it as like a bartering chip to go with Ramza because she wants to help him, and Ramza doesn't want her to go because, he doesn't want her to get hurt. But she eventually caves and tells him that she saw it at some point when she was in the Orban Monastery. All of these story points seem to revolve around Orban Monastery, which is interesting. After caving, she still ends up getting to go with Ramza because Ramza's been labeled a heretic, so he's not going to be allowed in the churches. He's a sinner. He's not allowed at church. And Alma's like, how do you think you're going to get in the church? Another point is Ramza tries to get her to go back to explain to their brothers like what happened and beg for forgiveness, but Alma makes a good point in that Dice Darg would not defend her if it came down to it because their name and their house is far more important to him than family, which is sad but true. So after having all these discussions, they make their way to Orban Monastery to find this old man laying half dead on the ground. His name is Elder Simon, and apparently he's important, and Alma knows him, but we don't know him. At least, not yet. We don't really get the chance to know him. But anyways, he explains that there are some people there who are there for the stone, and that Ramza and Alma need to leave, but Ramza is set on stopping them from getting the stone. And yay! Another multi-sequential battle. My favorite. So, basically, my last battles went well. And I got to this battle, and after much thought, and after a really, really long work day, I decided, fuck this. And I turned off my console. Then I went to grind more after I turned it back on. And I decided to use Agrius because I wasn't using Agrius, and that was stupid. That's like the dumbest thing I've done in this run so far. And we promptly fucked them up. We promptly end their careers. Agrius is, of course, the MVP of the last battle. This next one with Isilud wasn't very hard. Like, it was a little touch and go there, you can see by my really fucked up teammates. Mainly because he has jump and was dealing like 200 damage every jump, which is stupid. But Agrius was the MVP. I mean, somebody else was, but Agrius did like all the damage to Isilud. Anyways, we beat him. And he takes off with Alma, and we have to fight Weegraf again, if you remember him. This is what his sister looked like. But anyways, the objective is to beat him. It was a little rough, because he also has Holy Knight abilities. But we beat him. And he's upset. He teleports away. And then we jump over to the next scene. Where he's dragging his bloodied and battered body out of the church, and he tells Isilud to run with Alma. So Isilud goes, and Ramza's trying to talk sense to Weegraf, and the stone starts talking to him, and he decides to make a pact with this demon stone, because that always goes great. Just let the demon possess your body, it's fine. It'll be okay, it's totally fine. And he turns into this beast. And then leaves. Then Elder Simon comes out, which I thought that he was dead by now, but I guess not. Voice crack. Oop. He offers these texts to Ramza that could bring down the church if he wanted, or potentially save his sister's life. Because they are the original texts of Saint Germanique. And it basically exposes Saint Ajora, the saint of the church, as like a lie. You saw in the scene before, we met Merrick, which you'll see more of soon. And then we get this weird scene with Delita. At least I find it really weird with Delita and Ovelia. Like, I don't know if he views her like sisterly or if he has like a weird like romantic crush on her, but it was just a weird scene to me. I don't understand why he's so obsessed with her. Then we get to this battle on our way to retrieve Alma, because Merrick was like, you have to come to this castle, otherwise you don't get your sister. We find these deserters for the war, and they very quickly changed their tune. In the beginning, they were like, oh, we want to go back to our families. And then they're like, oh my god, it's Ramza. Let's take his head back. And then we will be honorably discharged. And we promptly, unfortunately, end them. We meet Orion again. He tells Ramza that he always has allies. And they discuss the potential evidence to take down the church. And then he leaves. And we continue on our way to go to the castle, and we come across Rafa and Merrick together, Merrick being the guy that we saw earlier. And they're having some sort of argument about their lord, or king, whatever the fuck he's called. I don't know the difference, but she wants to kill him or leave or whatever, and Merrick is just not having it. He's very stubborn. But Rafa comes and asks us for help, so of course Ramza's not gonna leave a damsel in distress behind. So we promptly fuck all of them up. This battle was honestly really easy. I don't know if there's just like a disconnect for me and I'm not seeing things like how they should be, but most of the time I feel like a lot of the battles will be like easier, and then I'll get to like one specific battle that's really rough. Anyways, Ramza suggests going somewhere more quiet, and him and Rafa have like a heart-to-heart. She kind of gives him an update on her and her brother and the king, or whatever he is, lord. And Merrick comes up with this menacing frog that like explodes, which is strange. That wouldn't really, I don't know, I guess maybe in that context it would scare me, but it didn't really scare me that much. He basically says to hurry up and that Rafa has to come with him, Ramza, and otherwise his sister's dead. So again, we continue down our path and we come across this random forest of dead people that wants to kill us for some reason. It was an easy battle. We killed them all very quick. And then we see oh right, he's a duke. That's what it was. There's too many fucking monikers. There's too many titles. He tries to strike a bargain with the Template captain, and the Template captain is already overtaken by a Lucavi. So when Barrington tries to make demands, he's like, I'm going to show you the power of the stone. And becomes some beast that we don't get to see the form of, and kills everybody. Well, most everybody. Then I have this battle with Merrick, where Merrick is still being stubborn. Rafa's trying to talk some sense into him, and he's just not having it. This battle stressed me out because I was one turn away from losing my summoner, which would have been awful, but I made it work. We made it through. Good. That soldier stumbles out all bloody, and then we switch to Alma in the dungeon, and another soldier comes in, and he's like, oh my god, it was a beast. You have to flee, like you have to leave, my lady. So she does. And also, the setup for the beginning of this battle was like a little misleading, because like it has you place everybody, but then it's just Ramza. You can see I got fucked up here because I didn't realize what battle it was going to be. But I actually happened to have seen this battle from a video that I watched from another creator, and I can't remember which one it was. I was looking for it earlier, but I couldn't quite find it. I believe it was one of these two, either Zafrost Gaming or Backlog Busters. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. They're really awesome. They're great content creators. I watch their stuff daily, whatever they upload. They have a great sense of humor. But anyways, from one of them, I think, from one of them, I saw the strategy for this fight of equipping the Chameleon Cloak against Wheatgraph, because it absorbs holy, and the game is coded in a way that makes it think that holy sword abilities are holy elemental, even though they're not, which is stupid that they're named that, but they aren't. And then as Ramza, using Tailwind and Focus to raise his speed up a lot and his power up a lot to be able to fuck up Wheatgraph. You saw there was that nice 444 damage. It's actually ridiculous. But anyways, we got through all that, and then we get to this point with Barrington. Rafa's threatening to kill him, and then he goes to shoot her, but Merrick gets in the way. And then we find this really hilarious scene of this bitch just coming up here, grabbing him by the throat, and chucking him off of the top of the building. I honestly laughed really hard the first time I saw that. I'm not supposed to be rooting for the villain, but it was really entertaining. And then we find out that it's one of Elmdor's subordinates. Elmdor has also been taken over by Lucavi, and he's trying to like settle this peacefully to get the stones. But then he's like, you leave me no choice. And of course the objective is to protect Rafa instead of, you know, killing them. And Rafa keeps like... Okay, so basically the first thing I noted is that I needed to switch my samurai to a ninja. First of all. Because they acted before any of my other characters did the enemies. So I needed a ninja to be able to act first. I knew what I needed to do. It took quite a few tries to get it right, but eventually I got to where I needed to be. But Rafa kept putting herself in harm's way by walking right up to the enemies, and it was really obnoxious. Thankfully, I eventually did it. It took a lot of tries that I didn't show here, but I made it through with the help of Agrius and the ninja and Ramza, kind of all interlocked. Tough battle, but think strategically. That's what I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. I'm learning a lot. Then we have this really sad scene with Rafa and Merrick, and within this scene, we find out that these stones might not be all bad, and they might just reflect the intentions of the wielders. Because as we saw, the stones turn those other people into terrible monsters, whereas for Rafa, it responded to her request, or her wish in her heart for her brother to come back, and resurrected him. So I'm curious to see where things go. I don't know if it's just that stone, if all of them are reflected off of the user, but I'm very interested to see more. Anyways, that's about all I have for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that your day is going really, really well. If you liked it, please comment what you like the most about chapter 3. We'll say. I'm trying to keep it chapter by chapter. Leave a like and subscribe if you want more. Thanks for stopping in, and I will see you for chapter 4 in the next video. Bye bye.